Ian Wallace is with us. He's the dream expert, and thank you very much for your response on sending in all of your dreams, and we're going to do a few phoners and all of that. Ian Wallace is a professional dream psychologist and has analysed over hundreds of thousands of dreams throughout his career. He says exploring our dreams is the most powerful way to understand what we want out of life and how we can achieve it. Just very quickly, and I don't want to be self-indulgent here, I was listening to the World Service the other night, and I have a little earpiece in my ear whilst listening to the radio whilst trying to get to sleep. And then I dream, obviously, and suddenly the people that were on the radio on this talk show on the World Service appeared in my dream, specifically an Irish guy who was the host. I obviously made a face for him in the dream, and he appeared. Is that possible? I mean, can we put people into our dreams?
Yes, we can, Steve. That's a fantastic dream. So what can happen as well, just in that really lovely stage between waking and sleep, it's called the hypnagogic state. And as you're drifting off there, then you start to assemble all this information from your unconscious awareness. So if it's someone that you don't know, you'll actually create them, because dreams don't happen to us, we happen to dreams. You're making that dream. So that Irish person is some unfamiliar, unknown part of yourself that you're starting to become aware of.
And as I recall, by the way, just as an aside, I made a face for him in my dream, and his face was a little bit like Jim Naughty.
Right. So there's some quality there that Jim Naughty has that you're becoming aware of, or may need to use in your waking life at some point.
I don't know.
Fabulous.
Okay, the other dream I had, and we mentioned it on the air the other day, funnily enough, just so that we would get a little bit of a response from listeners. This was a real dream that I had. And it was, I'm coming into my Uncle Eddie's house, and it's my Uncle Eddie's house from many moons ago, you know, from at least 20 years ago. And I go up the stairs, I let myself in, I go up the stairs, and there's an intruder in there. I pick up a spoon, and the intruder sees the spoon, and immediately jumps out of a window, and the glass smashing and everything, and he disappears. What's all that about?
It's quite a common dream, dreaming about our childhood house. It is.
Oh. Well, it wasn't my childhood house, it was my Uncle Eddie's house.
But a house from your childhood, rather. So when you dream about a house, you're dreaming about part of yourself. So there's something that you recall from your Uncle Eddie's house 20 years ago that you feel that you shouldn't be there. There's some lesson that you learned. And that intruder is someone who's intruding into your waking life. There's some wee personal or private boundary that you feel is being transgressed in some way. Wow. So you pick up the spoon, and what you do with a spoon is not a very threatening object. You know, if it had been a broadsword or a dagger, much better. Right. But a spoon, what you try and do is you're trying to be kind to them and look after them and make sure they're okay.
No, really?
Yes.
That's great. Leslie Johnson in Bridlington, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Ian is waiting for your question and or your dream.
Right, hi Ian.
Hi Leslie.
Hi, well for the past sort of 20 years or so, I've had, it's not so much a recurring dream, but it's a recurring theme among my dreams. They've all been quite different. But the biggest part of it that is always memorable to me is a toilet or toilets of some sort. These can be either in various states of disrepair or mostly quite good ones, but I'm really curious to why that particular thing should always be there.
Where is the toilet?
Well, in different situations. I've had one in particular in a large stately home where I've been part of a school party. It was an old square wooden one right in the middle of a kitchen.
Oh, and what was happening to it? Was it overflowing, filthy, nice, clean, what?
No one was touching it. It was just there in the middle of the kitchen. I was just really aware of it.
All right, let's go to Ian. What do you say, Ian?
Leslie, it seems a really weird thing to dream about, but dreaming about toilets is the third most common dream that people have. And toilets are always about eliminating things that we don't need in our life, and they're about expressing our own needs. So when you're dreaming about toilets, it really shows that you're spending a lot of your time looking after other people's needs and not taking care of your own. And that's really enforced about the toilet you found in the stately home, because when we dream about a kitchen, we're dreaming about the part of our character that we use for nurturing other people. So you spend a lot of time nurturing other people and looking after them, and because it's an old wooden toilet, that shows it's a really habitual thing you've been doing for ages and ages. So what this dream is saying to you is that you spend a lot of time looking after other people's needs, but you really need to look after yourself once in a while.
There you go, Leslie. Thank you very much for that.
That's lovely, thank you.
Got to move on. Sorry about that. Susan Sparks has sent us an email. Tim.
She says, yeah, Ian, I recently had a dream that ended like a film, complete with credits, i.e. it went black at the end and then the end came him up, followed by the cast, the lighting, the sound man, the director, all who'd appeared in it and all who'd been involved in it. It even finished off with the Roman numerals of the year 2010, like credits always do. I would love to know what this means. Hope you can help.
Sensational.
This is a fantastic dream that Susan's had, and what it means when we dream about a movie, especially at the end, is that she is, after a long while of working behind the scenes, she's starting to take credit for her own talent in her waking life. She's starting to see the bigger picture and feeling really good about it.
Oh, brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant, really. Joe Anderson sends an email. My 7-year-old son has recurring nightmare in which he's at school and the playing field is full of pits of lava. The children go near the lava and though no one falls in, my son is scared and worried someone will be hurt. He has this dream regularly and wakes up drenched in sweat and very upset.
When we dream about lava, which is quite a strange thing to dream about because we only usually see it in lamps, then we're dreaming about anger just bubbling away underneath the surface. So although Joe's son is on a playing field and it's very, very playful for him at school, he's scared that anger will suddenly bubble up, so he's quite scared of other people being aggressive towards him or him being aggressive to other children. So he's probably quite a peaceful wee soul, but he's just worried about that anger bubbling away underneath there.
Just before we go into the break, climbing and falling. We probably covered this before with you, but so many people have got these dreams of climbing or falling that I thought I'd ask a general question. Climbing, what does that mean?
Climbing is making a steady upward effort in our lives. So we've got these things like, oh, we've got a mountain to climb, or it's an uphill struggle. So it's just a steady upwards progression that people make when they're trying to achieve something.
And most of the people that send in emails about falling, letters about falling here, and there's one that says, well, I wake up just before I hit the ground. And so many times that seems to happen. Like, you don't actually ever die.
Very often the falling dream is at the start of the night. So just during that hypnagogic stage where you're starting to drift into sleep, all your main body muscles are really quite tensed up from maybe a stressful day, and they all relax, and it's like an elastic band pinging, and you suddenly relax and you have that feeling of falling. It's called the Micronic Jerk, and then that will wake you up.
We'll be right back with Ian Wallace, dream expert, in just a moment. Don't go away. We're going to go to some more callers and some more emails. Here with Ian Wallace. He's our dream expert. He analyses your dreams, and I think we can come back now with Rosalind Jones in Kinver, West Midlands. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, okay. And what about your dream then, Rosalind? Tell us about it.
Right, it was a dream I had last week.
Yeah?
And I was at my friend's mother's house, which is an old mansion house in Staunton. And I dreamt I went to use the cloakroom. And on the walls in the cloakroom were little blue fishes, and they were clustered like fungi on a tree, so it looks like a fan. They were all clustered like that and moving. There was no water or anything. And as I came out of the cloakroom, all these fishes detached themselves from the wall and went into my hair.
Into your hair? What does that mean then, Ian?
Rosalind, when we dream about a house, we're always dreaming about our own self. So when you dream about your friend's mum's house, this big old manor house, you're dreaming about how you could be just the big character that you really want to be and the big personality you want to have. When you dream about the bathroom, then you're dreaming about your needs and really your emotional needs. And all these little fish on the walls, fish always represent intuitive wisdom because they swim through the waters of the unconscious. And the little fish is in there, even though there's no water for them to swim. So somehow you've got all these brilliant intuitive ideas and this wisdom, but you've got no way of expressing it because the fish have no water. So what they do is they attach themselves to your hair, and your hair comes out of your head, like your ideas and thoughts. So what you're trying to do here is to express some of your intuitive ideas and wisdom as thoughts and ideas to other people.
And let me just ask you this again, and we probably asked you this before. Can that be of some help to Rosalind? I mean, will that help her in her day-to-day life?
Yes, it can, because it shows that she's got some idea or some feeling about something that she's trying to put into words and express to other people.
I hope some of that made sense to you, Rosalind.
Possibly, yes, I'll have to think about it.
I'll take that as a maybe. Thanks a lot.
Maybe. Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Ta-da, here's Tim.
Claire Stone emails. She says, my husband dreamt recently that there was a large black and white cow in our living room. The cow barged into him and knocked him onto the sofa and then sat on him. Please, Ian, can you interpret this? What does it mean? Thank you.
This is a great dream for Claire.
Dream.
So when we dream about an animal, we're dreaming about our impulsive and instinctive side. And when we dream about a cow, when Claire's husband dreams that there's a large cow there, he's dreaming about the side of himself that provides for other people and is very nurturing and giving. But he's getting knocked around by it. So he's been knocked back when he's been looking after someone. And now It's getting on top of him, quite literally. It's sat on him on the sofa. So what the dream is saying to Claire's husband is that he can be too giving and too providing in waking life.
And he's not getting anything back from the person or people that he's looking after.
Exactly.
So do more for himself, basically.
And it's a fairly obvious situation because it's a black and white cow.
Yeah.
And is that a kind of common dream as well?
Yes, that's a very common dream.
Email from Peter Sim. In real life, I've got 2 left feet and no sense of rhythm, but I often have this dream in which I'm dancing the lead in a dance troupe. We rehearse in empty places and loads of famous people are helping me out. I had Julie Walters coach me on ballet, for example, just as she did in that movie Billy Elliot. Tap lessons from Sammy Davis, and then we've got James May and Jeremy Clarkson drives the tour bus. I mean, that's just too weird, isn't it?
Well, it's quite a common dream again.
No.
There are a
Well,
couple
that exact scenario?
Yes.
To
Sammy
dream
Davis?
of Jeremy Clarkson, that's more like a nightmare, isn't it?
Dreaming of celebrities
Oh, okay.
is a very common dream, as is dancing. So even though Peter says he's really uncoordinated in waking life, if you dream that you're dancing, then you're very good at coordinating people and taking them through various steps. So he's very good at being able to guide people and lead them. And what he's doing with all those famous people, when you dream about a famous person, a celebrity, you're dreaming about your own talent. So he's realising that he's got a great talent to organise people and guide them through a set of steps.
Wow. Maybe he was watching The X Factor or something like that. He wants to manage them.
I love this. Please, can we do this again?
Yeah, we
Keep
will.
them coming. The more bizarre, the better.
Yeah, we'll do it again in about a month's time. Thank you very much, Ian Wallace. Appreciate it.
Thank you.